Hi guys, what is up? Team Dose Alliance 671 coming at you with the new kid on the block. I'll be showcasing the Dark Magician deck profile. Now for the request for Red Eyes branded tutorial and the updated Blue Eyes deck, I hear your request, guys. I'll be working on that shortly. Note that I test play the decks and see if they work before I show them to you. And I have been playtesting this as well. So for all three, I'll be playtesting them, and I'll be showing more deck tutorials in a little bit, starting with branded Red Eyes. But without further ado, guys, let me go and introduce a brand new deck profile to showcase for you guys. None other than the Dark Magician, with a special surprise like I always have for you guys. I'm that weird of a deck builder. Anyways, here's the main deck, extra deck, and side deck, in case you're wondering. Okay, so don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, and be a part of the notification squad. And without further ado, let's get started. So first off, we run 3 copies of Dark Magician. I got the ultimate rare for you guys. The ultimate wizard in terms of attack and defense, and with how well this deck plays, I could very much agree. And then for the next 3 of, you run 3 Magician's Rod. I still like running this one. It's one of your main searchers for Soul Servant or many other spells and traps that you run in here that mentions Dark Magician in its text, which is what it's mainly used for. Second effect, people tend to forget. You could tribute Spellcaster during your opponent's turn while it's in the graveyard if you activate a Spell Trap, and you can add this back to your hand so you can get that extra normal summon in. Don't mind the background noise, guys. I am living on Guam, so you're gonna hear all the chickens and dogs, and yeah. Anyways, to continue, we run 3 copies of Magician Souls. The next 3 of, yeah, my family's home right now, guys, so you're gonna hear doors closing, but it's fine. Pretty much the main special summoning mechanic of this deck, in terms of bringing out Dark Magician right away or Dark Magician Girl. I think we all know this does by now, but for the Dark Magician engine, there's my brother Silverado. But for the Dark Magician engine, what this does, and there's a dryer. Okay, hopefully that's enough background noise. My bad, guys. Anyways, going back to where I left off. This card does, you can send one level 6 or higher spellcaster to the graveyard. Then either you can special summon this card or special summon Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl from the graveyard, which actually is really good in this deck because you want to bring out Dark Magician Girl as much as you can in terms of the combos. And he has another effect while he's on the field. Send any number of spells and traps from your hand or face up on the field to the graveyard, and if you do, draw that many cards. It has to be up to 2 though, so that's pretty good. Free pot of greed, basically, depending. And then next 3 of, we run 3 Illusion of Chaos. This searches your Magician Souls, your Magician's Rod, your Dark Magician himself, any non-ritual monster that mentions Dark Magician or Dark Magician himself, which is a really good card. Which you could also search for. Let me go and move these guys over. Timaeus the United Dragon. This one is pretty much your main way of bringing out Red Eye Star Dragoon or Dark Magician the Dragon Knight. His effect reads: you can send 1 spellcaster from your hand or your field to the graveyard, or 1 card that mentions Dark Magician in its text. Special summon this card. Then you can use his main phase effect. So his effect reads that you could fusion summon using cards on the field or in your hand for 1 fusion monster that uses a spellcaster type monster. 1 fusion monster that includes a spellcaster as material. So it can pretty much fuse for a lot of guys, really, including Mysterion. So that'll be it for the 3 of us, guys. Let's go ahead and move these aside. Go on screenshot if you want, rewind a little bit. Then for the 1-ofs, we run 1 Oracle Mahad Palladium. You could combo this with Magician, or Magician Souls with Soul Servant. You can put it on top, and then depending on how many Dark Magician girls are in the graveyard, even if you just have Dark Magician, you could use it to draw this from the top of your deck and then free special summon. I was taught that trick from a friend, and I'm very grateful. For your next one of Apprentice Illusion Magician, just one, because you could easily search for her with Illusion of Chaos. You could easily put it on top of your deck with Soul Servant, you name it. And she's a free special summon. You do have to discard a card in order to special summon her. That's the only downside, but that's okay. That's why I only ran one. She could boost a Dark Spellcaster in the field during damage calculation by 2,000 points. So you could boost your Dark Magician and even Dragoon. And you could, what is it called? You could search for Dark Magician when she's no more special summon. Pretty much all these cards are centered around Dark Magician, which is really awesome, including Oracle Mahad. If he's destroyed by battle card effect, you could special summon Dark Magician from your hand, deck, or graveyard. And speaking of Dark Magician, we run the one Dark Magician girl. We all know what this does by now. Gains 300 for each Dark Magician and one Magician Black. Gains 300 attack for each Magician of Black Chaos and Dark Magician in your graveyard. So the most she'll get in this build is 2,900, which does come up. Attack power does matter, guys, especially if your effects get shut down or anything like that. And that'll be it for the Magician cards. Now for the special surprise. I present to you Obelisk the Tormentor, Slifer the Sky Dragon, and the Winged Dragon of Ra. And the Winged Dragon of Ra. Sphere mode. Just kidding. There's a reason why we run these guys. I think we all know what these guys do by now. They're pretty much godlike strength. So thank their lucky stars. Godlike strength. If you got that reference. So that'll be it for the monsters. Let's go and move on to the spells, which is a lot. We run 3 copies of Dark Magical Circle. It's pretty much your power duality for the deck. Activate the top 3 cards of your deck when activated, and you can add 1 Dark Magician or 1 Spell Trap that mentions him from your deck to your hand. Also, Dark Magician is no more special summon in any way, in which there's a lot of ways to do that in here. You can banish 1 card in the field, target and banish it. And you can only use that effect once per turn, which is fine. You can only use each of these effects once per turn if I'm not mistaken. Yes, that is correct. So to continue, we run how we bring out the gods, True Name. You guess the top card of the deck. If it is correct, you add 1 divine monster from your deck to your hand, or special summon a divine monster. And if not, it goes straight to the graveyard. In which there are so many ways to guess the top card of your deck in this deck, because Illusion of Chaos allows you to put 1 card on top of your deck after you resolve its effect. You have Soul Servant that puts a card on top of your deck. You have Dark Magical Circle that does the same thing. So there's so many ways to manipulate the top card of your deck, so you could guarantee bring out a god card for OTK, or if you just want to clear your opponent's board by activating Sphere mode. That, and it actually helps the deck a lot, because you want to use Soul Servant and get that card on top of your deck if you really need it in your hand. So you could just special summon a god card and then just use him as link material, or just search for Sphere mode in case the opponent tries something funny. And then anyways, to continue, Soul Servant, 2 copies. Thanks to a friend of mine, he's letting me borrow his copy. I'm very grateful. And we both agreed that for this build, or any build really, we declared that we only really need to run 2 of these. Easily searchable, and as much as it's the best card in the deck, it still requires setup. You want to send your Dark Magicians, Palladiums, and Dark Magician Girl to the graveyard as much as you can to bring this guy to draw as much as possible using this card. And also, since we're running Slifer, it makes it much easier to summon Slifer and makes it much stronger. If you could draw like up to 3 cards, if you have Palladium, Dark Magician Girl, and Dark Magician in your graveyard or field. Has to be different names, FYI, so you can't really stack Dark Magician if I'm not mistaken. So to continue, Magician's Salvation, Jailbreak the Eternal Salt. It just directly sets it from the deck, so it's anti-Ash. And then you could special summon a Dark Magician from your graveyard if you summon Dark Magician Girl in any way. Normal summon, or special summoner, that is. And for Dark Magician, it's vice versa. So maybe that party could Ash, but that's about it. Or that one's more like Ghost Spell, my bad. Anyways, to continue the spells, bond between teacher and student. We like running this because you want to bring out as many monsters as possible. So you could set up your Link summon and you could just play something, and you could set directly from your deck on Dark Magic Attack. Very simple effect. You could Harpy's Feather Duster your opponent's back row if you control Dark Magician, which is super easy to bring out in this deck. So you're totally good either way. Then we run one copy of Secrets of the Dark Magic. This is used for ritual summoning, as long as you have Dark Magician as material. This is used as fusion summoning, as long as one of the materials is Dark Magician. So you can bring out so many cards. You can even bring out your Illusion of Chaos. His monster effect is not half bad, really, if you want to bring out Illusion of Chaos. So really quick, Illusion of Chaos, aside from its searching effect, if you do ritual summon him, you can activate this effect when a monster effect is activating, turn this to your hand, and then negate that activation and destroy it. And if you do, special summon, or actually it's the other way around. You return this to your hand, special summon Dark Magician from your hand, deck, or graveyard. You return this to your hand, special summon Dark Magician from your graveyard. And if you do, negate that activated effect. Doesn't destroy it, unfortunately. But in case you're in a pickle and you want to ritual summon Illusion of Chaos to negate a monster effect, that definitely works. So to continue, we run one copy of Timaeus, because sometimes you just want to jailbreak that Dragoon, or Dark Magician the Dragon Knight, or Master of Chaos. And to continue, Magical Eyes Fusion, because you're going to send a lot of spellcasters to the graveyard, so you can banish all of them for Quintet, or just banish one Dark Magician and Dragon Effect monster for Dark Magician the Dragon Knight, or Red Eye Star Dragon. And that'll be it for the Magician spells. Let's move on to the other spells as well as the traps. Sorry, one moment. There we go. One copy of Monster Reborn, because this is very much Yugi's deck. And you can reborn a God card, you can reborn Dragoon if he's sent to the graveyard anyway. I did that one time, that was awesome. One preparation of rights, only one, because you only want to use it when you need it. You don't want to see too many of that, and also you don't want to draw too much search cards in case you activate this one and then they draw and lock you. So at least it's better to get draw and locked when you have a monster in your hand, like Illusion of Chaos or something. That way you can still set up something. So for the traps, only two. We run two copies of Eternal Soul. Special summon one Dark Magician from your hand or graveyard, or you could add one Dark Magic Attack or 1,000 Knives from your deck to your hand, in which you do have a target for that. Even the Rooster agrees, sorry. And it makes Dark Magicians on the field unaffected by your opponent's card effects. Your Dark Magicians, that is. So it literally makes Dark Magician a god, alongside the god cards. Yeah. In your monster zone. So yeah, it only applies to you. So mirror matches, don't even think about it. Okay, that'll be it for the main deck, guys. Let's go and move on to the extra deck really quick. We run one copy Dark Magician the Dragon Knight, protects back row. Counts as Dark Magician while on the field and graveyard, so you could actually bring this back with Eternal Soul if you really want to. Or Magician Souls, it's actually really fun to use that way. It makes it where your spells and traps cannot be destroyed by card effects and can't be targeted either, so Cosmic Cyclone, don't even think about it. And Red Eye Star Dragoon, pretty much the other god card of the deck, really. It cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects. And you can negate a card effect by discarding it and destroy it, and if you do, he gains 1,000. His effect comes up every now and then, or if you use the normal type as material, you could destroy one monster in the field, and if you do, the opponent takes the original damage equal to the original attack. But because I'm not running Red Eyes Fusion or Red Eyes Black Dragon in this deck, we're only really activating this effect once, which is fine. I have reasons why I don't run Red Eyes Fusion. I feel there's so many ways to bring out Dark Dragoon and Dark Magician. They're like proficient in it. I will get a second one when I have the chance, but for now I'm good with just one. And I've been having situations where I need to summon a different fusion anyways, like this one, Master of Chaos. If they put Dragoon out against me, this is one of my solutions for him. If he's fusion summon, special summon one light or dark monster in the graveyard, you could bring out your Dragoon again, you could bring out Timaeus. And then his second effect, you could tribute him, or you could tribute one dark monster and one light monster to banish all monsters the opponent controls. So he's very much anti-Dragoon or anything that can't be targeted or destroyed, or has an effect when they're destroyed. And he can even tribute himself, so I was correct there. Also, if he's destroyed by battle or card effect, you can add one spell card in your graveyard, so he has Dark Magician and Chaos effect. And then for the next fusion, Stereon the Dragon Crown. I don't have the Dark Magicians just yet, so for now, this is also a really good alternative. If you use one spellcaster or one dragon, and his effect is pretty much alright. He loses 100 for each of your banished cards, so that's a downside, but that's fine because when a monster is activated to special summon itself, or an effect to special summon a monster from the graveyard, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, a monster effect that special summons the same type of itself, you could banish that, what is it called? You could target one of those monsters, banish it, also banish all monsters on the field with the same original type. So this is good against Dragon Links when they special summon their monsters from the graveyard, but because Dragon Links are hardly seen played nowadays, far and in between, this just doesn't really come up as much as it used to. So I would say if you do want to add Dark Magician the Dragon, or he's right here, sorry. If you do want to add the Dark Magicians in here, you could, this is one of the cards you could swap out, but I would still recommend running this one because he's just a good generic fusion monster. Speaking of good generic fusion monster, we still run the one Quintet Magician. This is your other god card in here. It cannot be destroyed by card effects, cannot be tributed, cannot be used as fusion material, and if you use 5 different spellcasters for his fusion with different names, you could destroy all cards the opponent controls. So he's cool. He's anti-Kaiju, he's anti-Nibiru, he's anti-Polymerization, he's anti-Lightning Storm. All in that package. Isn't that cool? Anyways, that'll be it for the fusion monsters. Let's go and move to the XC monsters, which is still quite a few. We run the one copy of Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon, since we're still running level 7s in here, to pay homage to the to Joey Wheeler, his best friend. He pretty much deals 500 every time the opponent plays Yu-Gi-Oh! Just kidding. Resolution, every time a card effect is activated, the opponent activated, the opponent takes 500 on resolution, which is very powerful. You could summon a Red Eyes from your normal monster from your graveyard by detaching one. So if you're running the Red Eyes Fusion, Red Eyes Fusion engine in here, in which you have a target for this one. And then, one copy of Mega Phantom Beast Dracosec. Here's here for like tribute fodder really for the god cards. If you want to tribute summon the god cards, there's one way you could do that, or if you need to, that is. And he has the ability where if you're still new to this, you could detach one material, special summon 2 one type level 3 tokens. These are normal types if I'm not mistaken. Attack and defense is 0. While I control a token, this cannot be destroyed without our card effects. But the best part is, once per turn, you can tribute one Mega Phantom Beast monster, including himself, target one card in the field and destroy it. So he's good shooting power too. And he's good link material as well. He surprisingly really helped me out with setting up link summoning, which I'll get to a little bit. Big guy, you just steal a monster. Target one monster in the field by detaching one XC material. one monster your opponent controls, that is, and then you take control of it and it's forever. But it cannot attack, which is fair. So this also could be good. Should be far for the god cards if you need to summon them the hard way. Most of the time you don't. And even if you're running raw sphere mode, if the opponent has a full field of monsters, they pretty much get the tribute summons for you. That's funny. Sometimes it comes back to you, sometimes it doesn't. Either way, it's a win-win. And it still counts as summoning raw, which is awesome. Ebon Illusion Magician. Just for the kicks, you could detach one extreme material, special summon one normal type spellcaster from your hand or deck. And if a normal spellcaster type monster attacks, you could banish one card in the field, target it and banish, which is cool. So it could get around a lot of stuff that can't be destroyed by card effects, but watch out because that effect targets. So yeah, that's the only thing. That'll be it for the Exceed monsters. Let's move on to the links. First off, we run one copy of Relinquish Anima. I like running him because of the Magician Souls, and you just never know if you need to take an opponent's monster and use it as an equip, and against the attack. Then IP Masquerena. I wasn't running this at first, but I realized this is actually really good in here because of Eternal Soul. You could special summon Dark Magician. You could just link your two monsters, like even a god card if you're done attacking with him, or if you did an LTK. And you could go into Masquerena, and then you could use Eternal Soul to bring out Dark Magician, so you can link summon into Nightmare Unicorn, which is a really good effect. Now, we all know what this does by now, so this is for like spinning your opponent's cards. Target one card in the field by discarding one card when it's link summoned, and shuffle it back to the deck. So when it's link summoned, discard one card, and then target one card in the field, and then shuffle it back to the deck. And if it was co-linked in any way, like it's pointing, link monster is pointing at it, it's very unlikely in this deck, but like that, you could draw a card. And the other effect doesn't really matter, he's just here for the spinning. But if you must know, during a draw phase, you could draw an additional card for each card each link monster co-linked with him, meaning that they're pointing at each other. So if he's co-linked like this, you could draw two cards during your draw phase, which is cool. One copy of Crowley to add to the link 2s. We don't run the spellbook engine in here. I tried it and it doesn't really work in here, to be honest, but I do like the effect where you could normal summon a spellcaster without tributing. So good tributes, you could normal summon the Dark Magician without tributing, Dark Magician Girl, and even Apprentice, and even Mahad, which is really awesome. And then one copy of Celine. I like her because you could set her up with Masquerena, because as long as the other one's a spellcaster, and she has so many abilities on top of that. When she's link summoned, you could place one spell counter on her for each spell card in the graveyard, including the opponent's zone. You could remove 3 spell counters, special summon 1 spellcaster from your graveyard, defense mode, to the zone she points to. So she could also bring back Dragoon if she's destroyed in any way. The only downside is that he's in defense mode, but he has negate, so that's still good. And you can also summon your Dark Magicians. And this is one of the main ways you set up the last trump card of the deck, Access Code Talker, which is an awesome trump card in this deck. Okay, and here comes the airplane. So his effect reads: you could target one link monster in the graveyard when he's link summoned. He gains 1000 attack for each of the link ratings, during mainly targeting Celine. So you want to either bring out one of these two first and then go into this one, so you can gain like 3000 attack. Then he has a shooting effect that we're all aware of, and he's just awesome. Can't change that shooting effect. So yeah, that'll be it for the extra deck lineup, guys. And let me go and show you the side deck really quick. It's pretty much given what each of these does, so I'll just show them what they are. Nibiru, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, just kidding. Secret Village with the spellcasters, because we're running spellcasters. Just have that Imperial Order out in the field. Just watch out if you're battling another deck that has spellcasters. Called by the Grave, because we really don't like hand traps. When we know for sure the opponent's running hand traps, we side into this going first. And 2 copies of Lightning Storm because of Darth Sidious and just unlimited power. There are monsters in attack mode or spells and traps. Just kidding. And then Harpy's Feather Duster because I learned a little bit of airbending doesn't hurt. Destroy all spells and traps the opponent controls. Simple as that. And then for the traps, let's go ahead and set these aside. Infinite Impermanence. The actual hand trap. I'm just kidding. 3 copies of Skill Drain because it goes so well with Dark Magician, especially the Eternal Soul. And you could just lock out your opponent. So pawns monsters while your opponent looks at a Dark Magician that is unaffected by card effects. A Dark Magician god, really. I'm just kidding. Anyways, and then 2 copies of Summon Limit. I stopped summoning players with this, and even this stopped me when I was in a Dark Magician match. I had to banish that Dark Magical Circle. But yeah, you just chain it during the second summon, and the opponent just looks at their field awkwardly because they can't summon their boss monsters. And since you can still go with your combos in this deck with just 2 summons, and you can pretty much win the game with the slow grind. So anyways, guys, that'll be it for the newest deck profile for the Dark Magician deck. I do apologize for the background noise. I'll choose a better time to do a deck profile, but as of now, this is the best time I have, especially my busy work schedule. But I'll get the branded Red Eyes tutorial going and the updated Blue Eyes deck profile going as well. So thank you for giving me some time to introduce this new deck profile. I'll be working on this one as well. This is not its final form, and I hope to improve this deck as well, and I hope this deck helps you guys out in any shape or form. But anyways, you guys have a wonderful day. Happy beginning of the month. Have a wonderful day and happy dueling.